Come on, babe. You don't really mean it. You can't just leave me. Give me another chance. You know I love you.
Go away.
Man, getting rejected like that hurt a lot. But between you and me, I didn't mind. I actually kind of liked it when she said no. Yeah, it broke my heart, but it was also kind of fun. Hi, my name is Moxie. Please like and subscribe to Luna Avatar. And let's just say I'm sure I'm not like any other guy, you know? After my rejection, I ran home with my aching heart in my chest. As soon as I got home, I was barely through the door when two of my sisters, Clara and Trish, ran up to me. They were both asking me for help frantically, and I could barely hear what each one of them was saying. Things had been really hard since my mom had gone, but I had a lot of things to deal with, and my sisters just couldn't seem to understand.
The kids at school all make fun of me. Can you take me to get new ones?
I'm very busy.
My friend is having a party, and I need to buy a gift. This is the first time I've been invited to anything.
Sorry, I'm way too busy with stuff. I went to my room and got on my computer to message Rachel. I wasn't ready to give up on her yet. I typed, if you take me back, I'll give you my dad's car. But while I waited for a reply, I messaged a few other girls from school. It doesn't hurt to have some backups, right? While I was typing away, my third sister, Lindsay, burst into my room.
I'm hungry. I want to eat a sandwich.
Make it yourself. I'm busy here. She saw that I was chatting to girls online and not studying, but I didn't care. She left without a word, and I went back to my business. Eventually, Rachel messaged me back and finally agreed to meet up with me the next day so we could talk. Just then, my dad suddenly appeared in my room. I quickly made it look like I was doing homework on my computer. He started yelling at me.
You are lazy and selfish. You never help out since your mother passed away.
Leave me alone. I've had enough of you all today. I got up and ran out of the house. The next day, I arrived at the restaurant Rachel had agreed to meet me at. I sat down and things went well for a while. It seemed like she might take me back, but I remembered how weirdly fun it had felt to get turned down by her. So I started to do things that no girl would like. I checked out the waitress as she left the table and asked Rachel to repeat things all the time as if I wasn't paying attention. I made sure to order the most expensive meal on the menu, and she said she would do the same. That seemed to calm her down until the check arrived, that is. You have to pay because I don't have a wallet. That was the last straw. She stood up and threw her glass of water all over me. The whole restaurant was staring as she stormed off, and it was so embarrassing. But even though I was rejected again, it felt more thrilling than it did yesterday. I couldn't enjoy it for long, though, because my dad called me right after that moment.
Where the heck are you?
I'm not a little kid anymore. Like, you can't tell me where to be all the time, or...
You must go home immediately. There is an urgent matter.
I cut the call because Dad always exaggerated everything. I felt bad for a moment, but then I remembered that I'd just been dumped again. I was feeling bad and good at the same time, and when you feel like that, you gotta be out in the rain. I headed home soon after, and the house was in a panic. Lightning had struck a big tree outside our house, and it had fallen down and destroyed our kitchen. I ran up to my dad, who was talking to some firefighters while my sisters cried. Dad screamed at me.
Where the heck were you? I said it was an emergency.
I didn't think you were serious.
You need to get a job to help pay for it.
No way, I don't have time to get a job. I was way too busy. Yeah, I felt bad, but it was my dad's house, and he has to figure it out. I had a lot going on, and I was heartbroken. My dad thought I was talking about being busy with schoolwork, so he said that he'd just have to get a second job. He said,
Listen, idiot, I pay a lot of money for your education so you don't end up like me. You better make the most of it and work really hard.
Don't pressure me and don't worry about me anymore. Luckily, my bedroom hadn't been hit by the tree, so I could get right back to business. I spent the next few days trying to chat with more and more girls. While my dad got a second job, I felt guilty, but I wouldn't be young forever and needed to have fun while I still could. Later, my dad came home all happy, saying that he met a lady at work that he really liked. He said,
This woman is going to help me forget all my sorrows in life, including you, my son.
The next day at school, I was shocked to see Trevor, a guy from school, holding Rachel's hand. I couldn't believe it. She was already with another guy. I ran over to them and yelled, Rachel is my girl. Get away from her.
Leave me alone, you psycho. It's over between us.
Rachel, come with me.
She told you to leave her alone, so get lost.
That was the last straw for me. I swung my fist and punched him right in the face. Soon, we were both swinging at each other until 2 teachers came to separate us. We were sent straight to the principal's office, and I was suspended. I left school feeling like I lost everything. And now, first Rachel was gone, and now my dad would probably go insane if he found out I'd been suspended. Trevor's dad was friends with the superintendent, so on top of everything, he got away with no punishment at all. I got home wondering how I was going to break the news to Dad when I saw his new girlfriend had come over for dinner. I just wanted to drown my sorrows in text messages, but then I saw that there was a gorgeous girl around my age with my dad's girlfriend.
This is Millie, my niece.
I was immediately hooked. I started talking to her a lot. She was so gorgeous and smart. Just my type. I knew I had to be with her before I could get to know her a bit more. My dad pulled me into another room and said,
I really like Millie's aunt, so you need to back off or you'll ruin my chances with her.
I couldn't believe it. This sad old man had no right to control who I spoke to, so I just ignored him. I managed to get Millie's number without my dad noticing and started texting her all the time. She was so cool and agreed to go out with me. The next day, I was getting ready for my date with Millie when my dad phoned and said,
You had to take my sister Trisha to an important interview for an international college.
Right at the time I was supposed to meet Millie? Heck no.
I've had enough of your stupid games and excuses. I'm not asking again. Take your sister or else. This is important for her future.
I figured I had enough time to meet Millie and still get Trisha to her interview, so I took her with me to the mall. I told her, just keep your mouth shut. I have to see someone real quick. I met Millie and she looked even prettier than she had before. I couldn't believe I was on a date with her. She looked at Trisha and I had to come up with something fast. That's my sister. She has a condition where she looks 16 but has the mind of a 6-year-old. And Trisha looked like she was going to kill me. We're just gonna hang out here for a bit. Trisha, be good or I won't take you for ice cream later. She sat with her arms crossed, obviously mad at me, but I was too busy with Millie to care. In fact, Millie seemed to really like that I was taking care of my sister. We were having a great time, and I was really falling for her, but something was missing. The fun that I had with Rachel wasn't there, no matter how well the date went. At the end of the date, Millie gave me a hug and said she'd like to see me again. It left me with mixed feelings, to say the least. Right after my hug, Trisha ran up to me furious. She just looked at her phone to check the time and was really panicking. She yelled,
We're an hour late for my interview, and it's because you're so busy with girls. I'm gonna miss my chance, and it's all your fault.
Please lower your voice. And we left, but it was too late. The next day, my dad got home in the afternoon and stormed into my room, angrier than ever. Trisha had told him about her missed interview, and he also found out about my suspension. He was screaming loud enough for the whole world to hear it.
You're so selfish. Why can't you be responsible and stay out of trouble, you stupid boy?
I was young and needed to live my life. I ran out of the house as quickly as I could and went to sit in the park. I felt bad about everything. As luck would have it, Millie was at the park too, and she said she wanted to go out with me. We hung out and we were having a good time again, but without even thinking, I tried to sabotage things with her. I pulled the same tricks I pulled with Rachel. After all, they would make any girl furious, right? I checked out other girls, acted disrespectfully, and made Millie pay for stuff. But no matter what I did, she just seemed to like me more. I couldn't understand it. The next day when I got back from school, Clara casually said to me,
Hey bro, Trish packed her bags and left this morning.
Where did Trisha go?
I don't know.
I went up to Trisha's room and saw that all her stuff was gone. My dad was already furious with me. If he found out about this, he'd kill me. Panicking, I called Millie and told her what happened. She said she knew where Trisha's boyfriend lived and she would probably be there. So we both headed off to his place. When we got there, we found them standing outside and having a fight. Her boyfriend looked so relieved to see us. He said,
"Thank goodness your sister is crazy. She mentioned the C word, commitment, getting married, and being together forever."
I thought you loved me. I just wanted to be with you.
"Hey, watch it. That's no way to treat a woman. Leave her alone. I'm really sorry you missed your interview. I've had a lot of issues lately, but I still love you. Come home with me. I'll do anything."
Anything? Okay, I want your bedroom.
Millie was watching, and I couldn't say no, so I just said, "It's a deal. Just come home now."
Deal. Let's go home.
We started to head back. I wasn't actually going to give her my room, but it made me look good to say it. Millie was definitely very impressed with me. As we left, I even got a quick kiss. We drove back home and made it before my dad found out. At the front door was Rachel, looking furious.
Is this another one of your targets?
Millie turned back to look at me with a confused look.
What the heck is she talking about?
Moxie is a crazy psycho. He treated me like garbage, refused to leave me alone, and then tried to beat up a guy I was with. You should stay far away from him, or he'll treat you like that too.
Maybe you're just too stupid and shallow to understand Moxie. He's complicated, and I love him just the way he is.
Before Rachel could even reply, we heard a huge crashing sound from the living room. We ran in to see my dad's girlfriend storming out. She was yelling,
"I can't believe you said I eat like a cow, you jerk. I don't even want to see your face right now."
She shut herself in the bedroom.
Open up! Open the door! I'm sorry.
He saw us standing there and smiled.
I don't know why, but I kind of like it when she yells at me like that.
What the heck is wrong with this family?
Then she ran out the door. We all couldn't help but laugh. I've been seeing Millie for a few weeks now, and we're really happy. Since I've been with her, I haven't wanted to spend all my time looking for girls, and my dad is happy that I'm helping around the house more too. Things finally feel less crazy now that I found Millie, and it feels great to be with someone who finally understands me.
Hi, I'm Alva from Sweden, and I have an incredibly rare genetic mutation that causes my aging process to be much slower than normal. Like when I was 6 years old, I looked like a dumb 2-year-old toddler, which made people treat me like one, and things got even worse as a teenager. But to hear the rest of my story, please like and subscribe. Because of my condition, my parents decided to homeschool me till I was a bit older. I only got to hang out with other kids at the playground, and I'd get picked on all the time because I looked so much smaller than everybody.
Welcome, dwarfs. To her, we're giants.
Even once, when I was about 8 years old, I was playing on the slides in the park when a worried-looking woman came running over to me.
Sweetie, are you lost?
No?
Oh, poor baby, probably can't understand a thing. You must be so scared.
Do I look scared? And I'm not a baby. But she wasn't even listening to me. She just pulled out her phone and called the police.
We have a missing child here, officer. Please help her find her mommy and daddy.
Despite my protests, the policeman still lifted me into a stroller, took me to the station, and started taking pictures of me for missing child posters.
Oh my god, I know my parents' number and address.
I live right across the street from the playground, and you guys kidnapped me. That was just one of the countless times my parents had to go to the police station to explain and bring me home. It only temporarily stopped when I joined school in the 7th grade. The minute I walked into the classroom, a girl elbowed me roughly and said,
"Oh, little one, who are you looking for? Or are you lost?"
Oh, if only I had $1 for every time I heard that, I would be a millionaire by now, and I wouldn't need to be in the school with dumb people like you. And with that, I pushed her aside and took my seat. When I did all the math problems correctly in the first lesson, the teacher called me over looking all starstruck.
Wow, Alva, you're a genius.
Thanks, but why?
Because you solved these algebra problems meant for 12-year-olds.
But I am 12 years old. The teacher just giggled. And then did something I hate. She grabbed my hoodie and lifted me like I was a little kid.
Oh, aren't you a little cutie pie? Yes, you definitely have the mind of a 12-year-old.
No matter how many times I said it, no one believed that I was actually 12. They'd rather believe I was some kind of baby genius who'd been bumped up a few grades. After trying really hard, finally, I gave in and let everyone believe I was super smart. Even so, this didn't really help me become popular or make friends, though. Jessica, the meanest girl in class, wasn't too happy because everyone thought I was the smartest, and she made sure everyone constantly made fun of me.
Oh, my butt looks so huge. Are you wearing a diaper? What kind of language is that book in? Goo goo gaga? Is anyone volunteering to lift Alva up to the toilet?
Another time I was eating lunch by myself when Jessica suddenly stopped by my table.
Oh, how is the baby going to eat all that with her little baby teeth?
Why are you this way, Jessica? What do you mean? I mean, why are you so awful to me? You're the most popular girl in class.
Yeah, I know. But before you showed up out of nowhere, I was the smartest too.
Fine, you're the prettiest and the smartest girl in the world. Can you leave me alone now, please?
Sure, but let me mash everything for the little baby to eat first.
And with that, she started pounding my food with her fist. OMG, you are such a psycho! I picked up the smushed piece of cake and flung it at her face. She picked up my glass of juice and dunked it on my head. My battle with the big bully happened. And before we knew it, everybody joined in for fun and a full-scale food fight had broken out. We both got detention, and after that day I found a corner in the little playpen for the kindergarten kids and basically had lunch there by myself for the next 3 years. Until one day, Isak came and sat next to me. Isak had just joined our class a few weeks ago and he was a total babe. With all the popular girls drooling all over him, I was sure he wouldn't notice someone like me, which is why I was pretty shocked to find him here.
Why do you always have lunch alone?
Is this your first time in high school? Of course, I don't expect someone like you to get it. He took my hand and looked deep into my eyes.
I don't understand why there's such an adorable girl in this high school.
I was so annoyed at how fast that made my heart beat. After that, Isak and I became really good friends. He'd always sit with me to watch his football games and started coming over to my place for study dates. Since he joined so late, he needed to do a lot of catching up and I was more than happy to help. I hated to admit it, I just had the biggest crush on him. The annual spring dance was around the corner and it was all anyone could talk about at school. All the girls were yapping non-stop about their dresses and who they'd be going with. Of course, I was hoping Isak would ask me out, but when he didn't, I decided I didn't need to wait around like a sappy Disney princess. I'd ask him out myself. I bought tickets for the opening show of the new Avengers movie. Just as we were about to enter the theater, one of the cinema staff stopped me.
Hey, little girl, you can't go in. That's a PG-13 movie.
I'm almost 16 here! Look at my ID!
We see fake IDs all the time, kid. Sorry, but I can't let you go.
And with that, he pushed me out of line and refused to listen to me anymore. I can't believe this. Let's go then.
Go. I mean, what's the point of wasting both the tickets? We'll still have dinner together, okay?
And just like that, he turned and went inside. I was furious, as I couldn't even go anywhere because he'd driven me here. When he finally came out after 3 hours, he was practically jumping with excitement.
OMG, that was epic! Deadpool is way funnier and cooler than I imagined!
He'd not only watched the movie without me, he'd ruined it for me completely. I thought maybe the rest of the evening would go a little better, but boy was I wrong. At the end of the meal, when the waitress brought us our fortune cookies, they looked over excitedly at Isak to open his and read the little note inside.
Will you be my date for the spring dance, Isak?
He looked up at me in complete shock.
Alva, I don't know how to say this, but no. How could you even think that? You're more like a little sister to me. I've already asked Jessica out. Man, you've really made things awkward.
I felt so utterly crushed and stupid I flung a glass of water in his face. I wish I could become Wolverine to leave 3 scars on your mouth. And with that, I ran out of there and took the bus home. Nobody was more grateful than me when stupid high school ended and I was off to college. It wasn't too far from my town, so my parents could visit me often or come bail me out every time an officer thought I was an underage driver. Gosh, this is the 3rd time this month. Why are you police officers so dumb? Can't you see I have a real license?
She doesn't mean that, officer. Come on, sweetie. Let's go!
My parents always had my back, but no one understood how frustrating it was for me to be treated like a kid all the time until I met Andrew. In my 2nd year at university, I took up a job as a professor's assistant for one of the courses. I knew the other students made fun of me behind my back, but one day they went really overboard. The professor was unexpectedly detained and I was taking the class in his place. As soon as I turned my back to the board, I got hit by a dozen paper balls. I turned around to see everyone snickering. I'm your teacher! Didn't your parents teach you any respect?
You're not our teacher! You can't even reach the top of the board without standing on a stool. Go back to school, loser!
You can't behave this way with me! I want everyone who's responsible to apologize right now!
Or you'll do what? Go crying to your mommy?
I'll fail you in every single assignment. You do remember I grade them, right?
Oh no! I'm scared, Miss Alva. Will you forgive me if I give you a lollipop?
That's it! Get out!
Happy to! Come on, guys, let's go! We don't need to take orders from some high school smarty pants!
And just like that, the whole class walked out. I tried to keep my cool, but when everyone had left, I burst into angry tears. Just then, I felt a gentle tap on the shoulder, and I looked up to see that it was Andrew, one of the students.
I'm really sorry about the way they treated you. I think you're really smart and beautiful.
We became friends and soon after we started dating. He was just the sweetest guy, and even though he looked much older than me, he was never ashamed to hold my hand in public, even if it got us weird looks. A few weeks later, I had an internship interview in another city, and Andrew offered to see me off at the airport. Just as I was leaving, he took my hand.
Good luck, babe. I hope you get it, but I'll really miss you.
And with that, he pulled me in for our first kiss. My head was still spinning with joy, and finally I saw a few policemen walking towards us.
Sir, please move away from the kid!
What's the problem, officer?
We've recently had many reports of a gang kidnapping young girls, and you need to come down to the station with us to answer a few questions.
Wait, what? He's not a kidnapper. He's my boyfriend, and I'm 20 years old. The policeman didn't listen to a word we said, and we were taken down to the station. My parents had to come down again with my birth certificate and baby pictures before they finally let us go. It turned out that the people at the airport had been making videos of the whole thing, and it had gone viral on social media with people saying all sorts of mean things about me and Andrew. And to make things worse, the company I had an interview with wasn't happy that I didn't show up, so I lost the internship too. I was beyond furious now. I took to social media myself and posted a video talking about how I'd always been discriminated against because of the way I looked. The video went viral, and I started receiving a lot of sympathy messages and support. The public pressure made the police issue an official apology, and the company even offered me the internship again. But my condition had really sparked an interest in the public, and I was being invited to tons of TV and online interviews. All everyone wanted to know was the secret of my youth. Soon enough, I realized that people envied me. One morning, I picked up the local newspaper from the door and was horrified to see my face splashed across the front page with the headline, "Girl Discovers Secret to Eternal Youth."
Babe, come here and look outside the window.
To my shock, there was a massive crowd of people outside our apartment building, and the minute they spotted me in the window, they started screaming.
Have you discovered the Fountain of Youth? Tell us where it is. What do you eat to look so young? I'll pay anything for it.
With your anti-aging formula for youthful skin, we can become millionaires. Come work for our skincare company.
This was complete madness, and I had to put an end to it. I opened the window and everybody became quiet to hear what I had to say. Listen, there is no secret. It's a condition I've always had, and it's not a blessing. I've never had anyone take me seriously my whole life. I spent all of high school being bullied. My message to everyone is that we all need to learn to be happy in our own skins and accept everyone as they are. Thankfully, the message spread far and wide, and people didn't bother me again. But I still became pretty famous and was regularly called for talks on self-acceptance and against bullying. I'm married to Andrew now, and we have 2 young kids, and secretly I really don't mind at all when someone says I don't look like a mom.
Hi, I'm Freya from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. I belong to a home that was filled with happiness and love, and my dad worked very hard to give us the best life. Once when I was 4, Dad spent an entire weekend building me a treehouse in our backyard.
This is your special place. You can always come up here and look at the beautiful sky.
Thank you, Daddy!
And when your sister grows a little taller, promise me that you'll share this treehouse with her and always be happy together.
I promise. My sister Iris was 2 years younger, and I loved her to bits. I would dance for her, and she would laugh like crazy and clap her little hands. When I turned 6, Mom bought us walkie-talkies, and we had so much fun hiding from our parents. The coast is all clear here. Over.
I see Mom's red hair. Over.
Okay, I'm climbing down. Over. As I climbed down from the treehouse, I saw my aunt and my cousin enter our yard. I ran to greet them, and so did Iris.
Freya and Iris, you've grown so big.
Our cousin Shirley was the same age as me and stood very quietly without even a smile on her face. Just then, I noticed that they had 2 big suitcases with them. Are you going on holiday, Aunt?
Yes, we're here for the holiday.
Just then, Dad came out and helped Aunt with our bags. Aunt and Dad were twins, and he cared about her deeply. I was happy to have them around until Mom took me aside and spoke to me.
Freya, you will move into Iris's room and share her bed.
But Iris's bed is so small, Mom.
I know, honey. It's just until your aunt finds a job and moves out.
How long will that be?
Just a few months.
But months turned into years, and I was 10 and still squeezing into Iris's bed. My aunt didn't find a job, and Dad had to let her stay since they only had each other. And slowly, Aunt and Shirley started to become a nuisance.
Yeah!
Once in 7th grade, Mom had planned a party for me and Iris for being top achievers at school. When Aunt suddenly said she felt really sick.
Maybe you should have the party on another day. I'm so unwell. Shirley must have caught it too. Look, she feels so warm. It's possible what we have is contagious.
But I've already bought all the food and invited the guests. I can't cancel everything just a day before the party.
Maybe you two could just stay in your room, Aunt.
Oh, so you want me and my daughter to stay in the rooms like we are outcasts? Did you hear what she said, brother? We aren't good enough for their party. They always make us feel like we're living on their charity.
What? She didn't mean it like that.
Aunt started coughing loudly and Dad took her to her room. When he returned, he asked us if we could cancel the party. But Dad, Iris, and I already invited all our friends.
My mom is sick and I think you should listen to your dad.
It does seem insensitive to have a party when she's unwell. We can have it another time, please.
It was so hard to say no to Dad, so we canceled it. And just then I caught sight of Shirley grinning as she walked away to her room. Ugh, she and Aunt were such drama queens. And the worst part was that Shirley was in the same class as me. In 8th grade, I got selected to be the class president. And just as I was about to give my first presentation on all the changes I wanted to make, I stared at the projector in horror. Instead of my slideshow, it was a video of me singing and doing a stupid dance in front of my mirror at home.
That's your president trying to be Beyonce. Gosh, how stupid does she look?
Shirley, you're a wicked witch, just like your mother! She got up and pushed me against the chalkboard, and I took the duster and buffed her face white. Seconds later, everyone around us was laughing as we broke out into a full-scale catfight. But the teacher was not impressed by my behavior.
Freya, I'm taking away your position as class president until you learn to lead by example. Hitting someone's face with a duster is not leadership material.
But she pushed me!
And you called her mother a witch?
Later that afternoon, while I was doing my homework, Aunt came and sat next to me with her tea, and she poured it all over my books. Hey, what are you doing?
This will teach you to watch what you say about me. I'm a witch, huh?
I'm telling Dad about this.
Go ahead. I'll just say it was an accident. He will never believe you over me, his beloved sister.
And she was right. Dad didn't believe me.
Freya, I'm sick of you disrespecting your aunt. When your mother gets back from the store, we're having a family meeting.
But Mom had been gone for hours, and she wasn't even answering any calls. We were beginning to feel worried, but just then, a car drove up to the house, and Mom thanked a strange man as he dropped her off and drove away.
What happened?
My car's engine suddenly heated up and my phone was dead. Luckily, my boss was driving by, so he offered me a ride.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get your car towed and fixed.
I just couldn't help noticing the way that man looked at you.
What way? What are you trying to say?
Nothing, just saying.
My aunt was on a mission to stir up trouble between my parents. And later that evening, while Mom was in the bathroom, I found Aunt digging in Mom's bag. What are you doing?
Why don't you go up to your room and read a book, dear?
Not until you tell me what you're up to.
I'm looking for a painkiller for the headache you're giving me. Ah, there it is.
She took it and left, and I told Mom right away, but she checked her bag and said everything was in place. But just a few days later, it was Dad's birthday, and Mom bought him some new shoes.
Oh, I was expecting a Rolex watch.
Ha ha ha, really? Well, honey, that's quite an expensive gift.
But you used our credit card to buy it 2 days ago? I got a message on my phone?
What? No, I didn't.
Mom and Dad got into an argument on his birthday, and then Aunt came along to make things worse.
Oh, I think I know who your wife bought the watch for. It was for that same man who dropped you off last time. You know, her boss.
And how would you know that?
I'm my brother's sister, and I see everything that goes on around here. I won't let anyone betray him.
I've had enough of this nonsense. Who do you believe, me or her?
Dad believed Aunt. And that day, Mom packed her bags and took me and Iris with her. Mom rented out a small apartment, but things were not easy with Mom's small salary, and Dad only paid for our school fees. And soon after, things got even worse when Iris started to feel sick. When Mom took her to the doctor, we got the scariest news ever. Iris had a problem with her heart, and she needed a donor. Oh, Mom, why is this happening? I don't want anything to happen to Iris.
And nothing will. We have to stay positive, honey.
Iris had to stay at the hospital for a while. And one day, Dad came to visit with Aunt and Shirley. But when the adults weren't in the room, Shirley turned to Iris and said,
Now because of you, your dad might lose our house.
What are you saying? Don't listen to her, Iris.
He's paying for your treatment, stupid. He can't afford the mortgage payments on the house. Thanks to you, we'll be homeless soon.
It was never your house to begin with. Get out of Iris's room now. Later that day, I started to do some research on heart donors, and I was surprised to find applications on a funding program called the Heart Foundation. I quickly applied, telling my story, and sent it with fingers crossed. When I told Iris about it the next day, it made her really happy.
Even though our family is no longer the same happy family, I'm so glad that I have you as my sister and best friend.
I hugged her and then turned on the music on her phone and I started dancing for her like old times. And she laughed so much. Back at school, I struggled to keep my grades up because of everything that was going on. And one day, Shirley scored higher than me in math and couldn't stop rubbing it in my face.
Now that I'm the smarty pants of the family, I'm gonna tell my uncle to throw me a party. Don't worry, you're invited, as the waitress.
Suddenly, I felt so furious that I just screamed and charged her. But somehow I managed to stop myself at the last second. So I was shocked when Shirley suddenly fell to the floor like she'd fainted. Shirley?
Oh my God, what if you killed her?
What? I didn't even touch her.
No, I saw you.
Her friend ran off to call the principal. Shirley was rushed to the hospital where she was just fine soon after. But I was suspended for 2 weeks. I was really angry, but my suspension meant I got to spend a little more time with Iris at the hospital.
I miss our treehouse.
Me too! Let's go there! You know we can't do that. We'll get in so much trouble.
Please, Freya. I'm so tired of being in the hospital.
My sister made her puppy dog eyes at me, so I put her on the wheelchair and told the nurses that I was taking her out for some fresh air. We sneaked right out of the hospital and got onto a bus that took us to Dad's house. No one seemed to be at home, so we headed straight to our treehouse. Are you sure you can even climb up?
Yeah, of course I can.
Okay, go really slow and I'm right behind you. Iris climbed up the ladder, but as soon as she was inside the treehouse, she let out a loud scream. I started climbing up frantically, but just then, I saw Shirley looking down at me, and next to her was a boy from school. Shirley, what are you doing here?
Bunking school and making out with my boyfriend. You and your sister are trespassing.
Shut up, this is our treehouse.
Oh yeah? We'll see about that.
She kicked the ladder and I lost my balance. But luckily, I caught a tree branch just in time.
Oh my God, Freya.
I turned to see Dad looking up at me, and next to him was Mom. Dad quickly put the ladder back and helped me climb down. What are you guys doing here?
The hospital told us you were missing. We figured you might be here.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It's not her fault. I made her bring me here because this is my happy place.
Iris cried. And we had a family hug until it was interrupted by Aunt.
What's going on here?
Shirley kicked the ladder down while Freya was on it.
What nonsense. My Shirley would never do that.
I saw it with my own eyes.
Shirley came down from the treehouse with the boy and Aunt didn't look so happy.
Shirley!
I'm sorry.
Shirley looked down sadly, but I didn't buy her act one bit.
I'm so disappointed in you, Shirley. You really could have hurt Freya.
And if you're really sorry, tell everyone the truth about what happened in school.
You pushed me. That's what happened.
Yes, she did. And brother, why are you holding that woman's hand? Have you forgotten that other man she's with?
Dad immediately let go of Mom's hand and she looked so sad. As Mom drove Iris back to the hospital, I had a brilliant idea. Mom, can I borrow your credit card?
Honey, I'm already owing a lot on my credit card.
No, I'm not buying anything. I just want to investigate something. I then asked her to drop me at the mall and went to the only jewelry store that sold Rolex watches. Excuse me, can you check my mom's credit card? I think she bought a Rolex watch here sometime back. The store assistant checked the card, and the time of the purchase showed up. I requested to see the CCTV footage of that date and time, and it was exactly what I had expected. My aunt was the one using my mom's credit card. I made a copy of the video on my flash drive and left. I was on my way to Dad's office when I got a phone call that made me yell out with excitement. Iris's application for the donor heart was approved. My sister was going to get a new heart, and she would be completely okay. When I reached Dad's office, I showed him the video from the jewelry shop.
Oh my God! I don't know what to say. She's my only sister. Why would she do this to me?
You really broke our hearts when you believed your sister over us, Dad. Aunt broke our happy family and you let her? The next day, while Mom and I were in the hospital with Iris, Dad suddenly walked in with flowers.
I am so sorry. And I know my apology is not going to be enough right now, but I love you all very much, and I will do anything to have you back home.
Mom didn't forgive him immediately, but once she heard that he'd kicked out Aunt and Shirley for good, she was willing to give Dad a second chance. And slowly, our family became whole again. I learned a big lesson here. Always look for the truth, even if it hurts. A good leader is a truth seeker.
Hi, I'm Olivia from Florida. Please like and subscribe. My mom always told me the day I was born was quite an exciting one. At the hospital, when she held me for the first time, she gasped at my eyes. They were midnight blue in the center, with a light blue ring outside. The nurses were stunned too, and, well, a bit confused. Blue eyes are rare, and you both have brown eyes. Quite unusual.
What are you trying to say, woman? You think this isn't our child? Did you cause a mix-up in the nursery?
No, of course not, sir. I was only saying...
How about you keep your useless opinions to yourself? Her eyes are nothing special to talk about.
And for some reason, it always really annoyed him when people noticed and talked about my eyes, which was every time they met me. And as I grew older, I started realizing that I had a strange power. I could get what I wanted using my eyes. Let me give you an example. Once, when I was 6, I went with my parents to their friend's house who had twins my age. I could tell the boy was really sweet, but the girl didn't like me much. When she left the room for a while, the boy climbed onto her bunk bed and returned with a beautiful doll.
Her eyes are just like yours. I think you should have her.
Oh, wow. Really? Thank you so much.
Hey, thief, you can't have my doll.
But your brother gave it to me. It even looks like me. It's not his, it's mine. And it looks nothing like you. Witch, let go. I pulled harder, and suddenly the doll's head snapped off. The girl burst into tears and went running to her parents. Oh boy, I'd be in so much trouble with Dad. Suddenly, I looked deep into the boy's eyes.
And that's what he said, word for word.
The girl's parents apologized to me and scolded her. Over time, I just couldn't help using my eyes more often to get my way. Sometimes I knew it was wrong, but it was just too easy. I only had to look at people with my big baby blues, and teachers would help me. During exams, people would give up their seats on the bus, and if someone got the last hot dog at lunch before me, they were sure to surrender it. By the time I was in high school, I was quite popular with the boys and had my girl gang too. But I knew I wasn't well liked by the mean girls, especially the head cheerleader, Emma. She was the girl whose doll I'd broken as a kid, and she hated me since one day in 9th grade, a group of cheerleaders and jocks in the cafeteria were talking about a cool new movie they were going to watch that weekend. It sounded like fun, and I wanted an invite, so I walked straight up to this boy, Zach. Hey guys, I was wondering if I could tag along to the movies with you this weekend. Zach hesitated, and then he looked directly into my eyes. I knew what his answer would be.
Of course, Olivia.
Thanks, Zach. You're a sweetheart.
Did you just invite her to the movies without asking any of us?
What's the big deal? I don't think anyone has a problem.
The rest just shrugged, and Emma glared at me before storming off. I was still grinning when I walked over to my locker later, and I found her waiting there.
You're not going to the movies? No way. I don't care what Zach said. You're uninvited.
What are you going to do? Ban my entry into the cinema? You can't. So I'll see you there. I turned to leave, but she knocked my books out of my hand and stepped on them. I grabbed her by the hair, and we broke into a cat fight. We both ended up in the principal's office.
And she immediately called our parents.
I didn't do anything. She started it.
I hadn't even touched her. She pulled my hair.
The principal also called in a few witnesses from the hallway, and luckily for me, it was a bunch of boys I knew. I only had to look at them, and they all said Emma was to blame.
No way. She can't get away with everything just by batting her dumb eyes. She looks like an angel, but she's a lying witch who has everyone dancing to her tune.
But Emma got detention while I was let off with just a warning. On the car ride home, though, Mom and Dad were really quiet. But Emma got detention while I was let off with just a warning. On the car ride home, though, Mom and Dad were really quiet.
You've always tried to get your way by manipulating people ever since you were a kid. Now it seems worse than I thought.
Okay, so people are sometimes nice to me and do what I ask. What's so wrong with that?
We'll talk about this tomorrow. You are grounded for a week.
What? Why the heck?
Olivia, enough. You heard what your dad said.
But the next morning, I found them waiting for me in the dining room with a small box on the table. What's this?
Something to cover up your eyes. You need to learn that life isn't so easy, and you can't just get whatever you want.
Inside the box were brown contact lenses. They were the color of mud. Are you kidding me? You think I'm going to wear those?
You have to wear them if you want to continue going to school.
With angry tears, I grabbed the box and ran out of there. It took me a few tries to wear the contacts, but I finally managed, and I hated what I saw staring back at me in the mirror. It wasn't me. At school, I was hoping by some miracle no one would notice, but of course, everyone did.
Why are your eyes suddenly brown?
Did your evil spell finally wear off once you got all your wishes?
Everyone's comments made things hard because it felt really embarrassing to say my dad was making me wear brown lenses. I made up some lame excuse about how the doctor had recommended them for an eye condition, but it didn't seem to convince anyone. And suddenly, no one seemed to care about me much. Luckily, a month later, Dad's job caused him to transfer to another state. A fresh start was exactly what I needed. No one in school there would ever know I had blue eyes before. But it was quite strange walking into this new place and not having anyone pay much attention to me. My classmates seemed pleasant enough, but everyone just went off with their groups at lunch. I was sitting outside having lunch under a tree when someone dropped down next to me.
Hello, mind if I join you?
You already have, and I don't mind at all.
Good, because I'm too tired to get up anyway.
Plus, I've been waiting for someone new to show up for ages. All these other girls just talk about boys and makeup, and they think they're from another planet. Or they think I'm from another planet. Her name was Grace, and I warmed up to her instantly. We quickly became close friends, but I just couldn't tell her my stupid secret. A few weeks later, we were sitting on the gym floor, making decorations for an event, when some guys started playing basketball. And suddenly, the ball came flying at me and hit me smack in the face. I opened my eyes, and looking down at me was a gorgeous boy with black hair and the deepest blue eyes ever had. I died and gone to heaven.
Hey, are you okay?
Of course she's not okay, you moron. You could have killed my best friend.
Grace pulled me up, but my knees gave way, and the boy swept me up effortlessly. He carried me to the bleachers and said he'd be back with some water.
Olivia, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I see. Yeah, you aren't fine. And if he has his way, you never will be again.
What do you mean? Just then, the boy returned with a water bottle and knelt beside me.
Really sorry. We should have been more careful.
Oh, don't worry. I don't mind. I mean, it's just a ball, not a rocket. Now that would hurt. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe I have a concussion, but I'm okay. O-Y-A-K. See? I can still spell. He just smiled at me and ran off to his friends. What a blubbering idiot. I turned to Grace and saw she'd already left. Later that night, I got permission from my parents to stay over at Grace's. So tell me, what do you know about the gym boy?
That's Levi. He's my older brother.
You're what now?
Yeah, I know. Different set of genes. But Olivia, he's a heartbreaker. He changes girlfriends faster than he changes underwear. He knows he's good looking, and he uses it to make girls like him. And then bam, 2 weeks later, some girl is crying in the school bathroom and he's got a new girlfriend.
Really? But he seems sweet.
How would you know? He's my brother, and I'm telling you, he's a jerk.
Is he here, like, right now?
Yeah. But you don't want to talk to him, right? You're here to have a slumber party with me, and I just told you.
He's a jerk. Right. Gotcha.
But I couldn't get Levi off my mind.
Grace messaged me on Monday that she had the flu and wasn't coming to school, and I decided this was a great chance to talk to her brother. On the bus, I was thinking about what I'd say to him when someone sat down next to me.
Sorry, seats in the back are full.
Holy lady luck! It was Levi! But it seemed like he hadn't recognized me and just started reading a book. What you readin'? He turned the cover to me without looking my way. Oh, nice. I've never read that.
Okay, good to know.
Wow, he did seem like a bit of a jerk, but I wasn't giving up yet. If it's good, maybe I'll read it. I'm the girl from the gym, by the way. The one you hit with the basketball.
I know that. I didn't have memory loss. It's just that you're Grace's BFF and she told me to stay away from you.
That's strange. She didn't say anything to me. And why can't we all be friends? Grace was down with some virus and couldn't attend school for 2 weeks, and I ended up spending all my time with Levi. He was gorgeous, but he was also funny and thoughtful, and I just couldn't help liking him. And I had a feeling he liked me too. But when Grace returned, she was furious seeing us together.
So what? You've replaced me with Levi now?
Of course I haven't. You weren't here, and we just started hanging out.
And now you're in love with him, aren't you? Even after what I said? Doesn't take anyone too long to fall in love with Levi. He gets anything he wants.
I was upset that Grace was mad, but I didn't want to give up on Levi either. Later that day, as I was running an errand, I passed by a cafe window and stopped in my tracks. Levi was sitting there with some blonde girl I'd never seen before. He suddenly spotted me, and I started walking away quickly.
Olivia, please stop. It's not what it looks like.
It's none of my business, Levi, so no need to explain. I obviously misread some signs. You should go back to your girlfriend. 2 weeks, and it's time for a new girl. Yeah, just like Grace said.
She said what?
that you're a heartbreaker, and that you change girls faster than clothes, and that I should stay away from you.
Olivia? She made that up. Okay, I went out with her best friend a year ago, but things ended badly between us. She blocked out Grace, too, and moved away. And it broke Grace's heart. In fact, that girl in the cafe is my ex. She's in town and wanted to return some things, and you didn't misread any signs. I like you a lot, and I was planning to ask you to the winter dance.
I need to talk to Grace first. Okay. I had a heart-to-heart with Grace, and she admitted that she'd lied about Levi.
I know he's a good guy, but I don't want to lose another friend.
Pinky swear, no matter what happens between me and your brother, we'll stay friends forever. We decided to go shopping together for the winter dance, and I found a beautiful blue dress. As I looked in the dressing room mirror, I suddenly took my contacts out and called Grace.
What happened to your eyes?
I told her all about how I'd get whatever I wanted because of my eyes. So my parents made me cover them up.
That is ridiculous. They can't make you do that.
I know, but maybe it hasn't been the worst thing. I got you and Levi, and it has nothing to do with my eyes. But yeah, I think I just want to be myself now. When I got home, I walked into the lounge where my parents were watching TV.
What have you done?
I'm tired of covering up my real eyes. This is who I am, and I won't hide it anymore. I'm done with your controlling nonsense.
You'll do what I say as long as you live under my roof.
Then maybe I won't live under your roof. I went upstairs to gather my things so I could go stay at Grace's house when suddenly Mom came in.
I need to show you something.
She pulled out contacts from her eyes, and they were the brightest blue, just like mine.
Your dad hated the attention I attracted, and after we got married, he made me cover them up. But you're brave to stand up for yourself, and I don't want to let you down again. I'm leaving with you.
We packed our things and left Dad for good. We checked into a hotel until we could find a place. But for the first time, I saw Mom happy and free. The next day, I put on my blue dress for the dance, and Levi came to pick me up.
Grace told me about your eyes. You look beautiful.
You think so?
Yeah. But no matter what color they are, I'd think that anyway.
Hey, I'm Luna. Please like and subscribe. I'm about to share a story about the challenges life has thrown at me. My parents, especially my dad, weren't what some would call expressive and loving. They constantly fought and seemed to spend more time hating each other than anything else. Dad always had the TV blaring. The noise kept me up at night, so I often resorted to sleeping with headphones on. I knew he wasn't a bad person. He just had some annoying habits and seemed to enjoy annoying Mom. Mom was kind. She did her best to be the best mom. She'd surprise me with toys and candies. My favorite place was our treehouse, which Mom built for me. It was my escape. I loved spending time there with my bestie Lily.
Luna, everything will be okay. My mom got me 2 dolls, and I want to give you one. Let's grab some ice cream.
Lily was my best friend since kindergarten. She always knew how to cheer me up, sharing her toys with me. We were inseparable, so much so that some people at school mistook us for twins. Plus, Lily had an amazing voice. Sometimes she sang to me until I fell asleep in the treehouse. Lily's family seemed perfect. Her mom was a successful fashion designer, and her dad was a police officer. Sometimes I found myself wishing I was part of her family, but I'd immediately feel guilty knowing my mom loved me. When I was 16, my gymnastics coach said I should compete in another state. Excited, I asked my parents for money to go. Dad, busy with his motorbike, brushed me off.
Wish I could, honey, but I gotta paint the bike. It's my pride and joy.
I could tell Mom wanted to help by the way she looked at me, giving me the "I wish I could help you, dear" look. That day, I made up my mind to do something. I grabbed my dad's motorbike keys, thinking I could ride to the competition myself. But since I didn't really know how to drive, I ended up crashing into a fire hydrant. Dad was furious about his damaged bike. But before he could say anything, Mom intervened.
Don't you dare yell at her!
Mom then hugged me and handed me some money.
Here, take this money. I've been saving it for quite a while now. I love you, baby.
I hugged Mom tightly. I participated in the gymnastics competition and took second place. On the way back, my coach had some really bad news.
Your mom got into an accident while buying ingredients for your favorite apple pie. She's in the hospital now, in a coma.
I couldn't say a word. I just stayed quiet all the way home. When I got back, Dad hugged me and told me not to worry, saying Mom would be okay. Later at dinner, I asked Dad something tough. Dad, can I stay with Lily's family for a bit? It's not that I don't like being with you, but I feel happier there. They really care about me.
Sure, if that makes you happy. I'll talk to Lily's parents.
And Lily's family was really welcoming. Lily's mom used to say,
"We're glad to have you, dear. You're like my second daughter from now on."
That's how I ended up living with my best friend's family. They even gave me my own room. Lily's parents were wonderful. They looked after me and made me feel like I was their daughter, even though her dad wasn't always. I loved them with all my heart and thought of them as family. Lily and I even got closer. We'd spend all night talking or playing video games. I still saw my dad from time to time, and he seemed to be improving, becoming nicer.
I'll keep getting better until you say you want to come back and live with me.
Well, that might take some time, but yeah, keep your hopes up. One day, as I was walking around the house, I found a room full of beautiful clothes. Curious, I started trying them on. Lily's mom walked in on me.
"You look beautiful. I've always hoped to share my wardrobe with a daughter."
Just then, Lily walked in, and her mom invited her to join.
"Lily, darling, come try on some clothes too."
I don't want to.
Soon, I got really close to Lily's mom. We hung out a lot, and I even helped her out at photo shoots, sometimes modeling for her. One day, I was shocked to see my picture on the cover of a big magazine.
"I wish Lily liked fashion like you do. Thank you for always being here for me."
I smiled and thanked her for making me feel like part of her family. But something was off with Lily. She started keeping to herself, staying in her room, and didn't want to hang out or do anything with me. When I tried talking to her, she just said,
"I want to be left alone."
I was really worried about Lily's sudden change and couldn't figure out what I did wrong. I kept trying to fix things, even apologizing, but nothing worked. She sometimes even yelled at me. I had to give her space, even though it hurt a lot. One evening at dinner, Lily's mom shared some exciting news.
"Luna, your teacher called. Your college aptitude test scores were amazing. I'm so proud of you."
Turning to Lily, her mom asked,
"And how did yours go, honey?"
"Oh, I didn't bother with it. I'm going to be a singer, so I don't need it. Maybe one of your famous friends could help produce my album."
"I won't do that. I want more for you. You're going to college, and later you can decide what you want."
"What? You can't make those decisions for me. I'm going to be a singer, and that's that."
As your mom, yes, I can guide you.
"You can't tell me anything."
Lily, stop. Your mom's just trying to help.
"You shut up. My life was better before you showed up. Go back to your miserable family and leave us alone. I hate you both."
Angry, Lily knocked all the family pictures off the shelf. After that, her behavior got worse. She began skipping school and got mad whenever someone tried to talk about what she was doing. Lily's behavior toward me got worse, turning her into what felt like a real-life villain. She constantly tried to make trouble for me, and even though her mom always ended up forgiving me, it just made Lily angrier. For example, Lily switched her unfinished homework with mine, confusing my teacher. Luckily, the teacher sorted it out. Lily made a fake social media account with my name, posting embarrassing stuff. It took a while, but I showed it wasn't me and shut it down. Lily hid a library book I borrowed, causing me to get late fees. Her mom found it later and figured out Lily's trick. Lily messed with my bike's brakes. I felt something was wrong before I rode it and stopped myself from getting hurt. This escalated one afternoon when Lily's mom was away on a business trip and her dad was away at work. Lily decided to do something drastic. She turned the backyard into a makeshift movie theater. I'm not sure showing a movie here is a good idea.
"Well, it's better than having you around all the time."
The backyard quickly filled with people, the projector buzzing to life. I stayed inside, trying to avoid the chaos, and was flipping through a magazine when suddenly someone stumbled into my room.
Oops, or my bad. I was looking for the kitchen. Hey, is that a magazine about vintage cars? My dad collects them, and I've read a bunch about them. Is that the issue with the 60s muscle cars?
Yes, it is. His name was Brian. We discovered we shared a lot of interests and spent the evening chatting in the kitchen. Just as we were really connecting, the screen outside fell over with a crash. Suddenly, Lily and her mom came in.
"Look, Mom, I knew it. Luna set up this whole movie thing just to hang out with her boyfriend."
Boyfriend? That's not true. Why would I organize this party? Lily, you're my only friend here.
"Then explain him being in your room. This must be your party."
Enough, Lily. I don't think Luna would do this. But young man, it's time for you to go home. Please.
Lily looked so angry and stormed off. She stopped talking to me and just ignored my existence. I kept talking to Brian. Having him in my life was great. He was nice-looking and well-mannered. His family had money, and he shared his dream of becoming a doctor with me. A few days later, Lily's mom called me into the living room, where I found my dad sitting.
I really care about you and loved having you here, but things with Lily are getting tough. She's feeling left out. Plus, your dad's been talking to us. He's made some changes, wants you back, and misses you a lot.
The past few months have been really tough without you. I love you and want you to come home.
I didn't say much. When I feel a lot, I find it hard to speak. But I managed to say, I'll pack my things. I moved back with Dad. And honestly, things weren't bad. He had really improved, and hanging out with him wasn't bad at all. But I ended up blocking Brian. I didn't have a strong reason to cut him off. I felt like I didn't deserve him and just needed a fresh start. A few months after finishing high school, I couldn't go to college right away. Dad didn't have the money because we had big hospital bills for Mom, so I started working as a pizza delivery person. It was tough, but I never thought about quitting. I worked really hard and finally got into college. I planned to study economics and maybe even start my own business someday. While studying, I took any job I could get. Eventually, I managed to rent a tiny apartment with a view of the city dump. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I could finally study and rest there. Dad even helped me buy a used car for my delivery job. Things were starting to get better. I kept working hard, aiming for success. I often thought about Lily and her parents, and my mom too. I missed them a lot. With exams coming up, I studied all night and worked all day. I felt unstoppable, like nothing could slow me down. But one day, while out on a delivery, I suddenly felt very dizzy, and the next thing I knew, I crashed into a tree. I was rushed to the hospital. Everything hurt, but what pained me the most was my thoughts. Why couldn't things just go right for once? I hugged my pillow and burst into tears. Then a young doctor came in, and I was shocked. Brian, is that really you? He recognized me too.
I always thought I'd run into the girl who broke my heart again.
Feeling embarrassed, I just looked down and stayed quiet as usual. Brian had finished medical school and was now an intern at the hospital. I apologized, and we chatted for a while and swapped phone numbers. Over time, we got closer and started dating. Brian had the kindest heart, and he even helped me with my college fees. One day, I went to the hospital to bring Brian his lunch and decided to visit Mom afterward. I entered her room, and she looked so peaceful, just like an angel. I gently kissed her forehead. Mom, I have to tell you something. I tried to replace you. I was so angry when I felt you gave up on me, so I gave up on you. I was angry at Dad, too. Even though the poor man was struggling without you, I used to be mad at Lily. But as I got older, I understood her, and we made up. I'm friends with her mom now, too. I love them, but no love can match yours. Guess what I found out this morning? I'm pregnant. I'm going to surprise Brian tonight on our date. I think he's going to propose, and I'll say yes. Mom, I'm happy, but my happiness isn't complete without you. Tears overwhelmed me, and I laid my head on her hands. When suddenly, I felt her hands move. Overjoyed, I ran to the doctor like a little kid shouting, "My mommy is awake! My mommy is aware!" Hi, my name is Rose, and I'm from Germany. Please like and subscribe to Natalya Avata. I was born to parents who were rich, so rich that we had several maids, chefs, butlers, and drivers who worked around the clock for me and my crazy family. Dad was a genius on the stock trading platform, and Mom was Miss World in 1998. I loved my family, but they were so used to being spoiled that our entire lives revolved around money. Once when I was 7, I wanted to go camping. So Dad hired a set designer to create a camp set in our massive backyard. He also hired a weird mountain man to entertain us with stories and how to make a campfire.
Who wants to hear a bear story?
Yeah, I do. But my sister Lucy, who was 2 years older than me, had her head stuck in her phone. So our camping experience eventually got boring. And soon after, as I grew up, our family hardly spoke to each other. When I was at school, I was crowned the computer genius. Lucy was popular on social media, and we were both the hottest girls in school. Once when I was in 8th grade, 10 boys asked me and my sister out all at once. These boys were so lame and too desperate for our liking. Lucy and I had a checklist. The guys that we dated needed to be smart, rich, and hot. I wasn't worried so much about the rich part. I preferred intelligent guys, and in my school, all of them were rich but also total smurf brains. And then, one day when I was in the 11th grade, a new boy joined her school and took my title of computer genius. I was kind of jealous at first, but when he smiled at me, I melted, having a huge crush on him. Would you like to go out for ice cream sometime?
Will we be celebrating my new title in the school?
Don't rub it in. After that, Gregory and I became an item. He drove a Ferrari and seemed much richer than my family because he lived in a mansion much bigger than mine. Once, when I was in the 12th grade, I decided to visit him at his house unannounced. And when I got to his house, his parents acted very weirdly. I'm here for Greg.
Oh, he's upstairs.
Okay, can I see him? When they finally let me in, I went to Gregory's room and found him busy with something on his computer. Greg?
What? Who let you in?
I'm sorry. I thought I would surprise you. He looked really angry.
I hate surprises. Don't ever come here without calling first.
I was so mad at him when I left. I felt like just breaking up with him, but then he came over to my house with flowers.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have snapped at you. Please forgive me.
I don't know. You acted so strange. What was more important than me?
I was actually planning a surprise trip for the both of us to Thailand.
I immediately forgave him. He was so romantic, and he obviously loved me since he was spending so much on me. We went to Thailand just for the weekend, and my parents liked Gregory, so they also trusted him while we were there. Gregory was all romantic at first, but then he changed when I wanted to go shopping.
Shopping for clothes? Did you bring your credit card to pay for all those clothes?
What? But you said to take whatever you want and you'll pay.
Yeah, but I didn't expect you to buy the entire store.
Lucky for me, I did have my dad's credit card and managed to pay for my stuff. But the next day, I woke up to a shock. Gregory was gone. He left a note along with my plane ticket back home. He broke up with me on a note saying, "Nice knowing you goodbye." What a jerk. I felt like my world was falling apart. Why would he break up with me this way? When I tried to call his number, it went to voicemail. I had to gather my strength and head back home, and maybe then find out why he suddenly just left. Could it be because of all the clothes I bought? But when I got back home, my family was on edge. Everyone was pacing up and down, and as soon as I entered, Dad rushed up to me.
Rose, where's my credit card? Someone hacked all my trading accounts using my credit card, which is linked to every other account. So, Rose, you have to tell me where that credit card is.
I was totally freaking out and tore my whole bag apart looking for that card. And then I asked Dad to take me to Gregory's house, and when we got there, his mansion was empty. Oh my God, Dad, I think Gregory took all our money. Dad looked at me silently. At first, I thought he was going to blame me since Gregory was my boyfriend, but all he did was remain quiet. But Mom and Lucy went berserk.
We are broke because of your scheming, scamming boyfriend.
How was I supposed to know he was a fraudster? He drove a Ferrari and you liked him, Mom.
Yeah, I did. But he was still your boyfriend. You should have analyzed his intentions.
And then Lucy looked at her phone and screamed like someone died. What happened?
The Wi-Fi isn't working. How am I supposed to post my selfies from this morning?
Oh, I was supposed to pay for that today, but not anymore. Girls, I'll be in my office. I have no idea how I'm going to fix this.
I felt like everyone blamed me for this. And after 2 weeks, all our maids, chefs, butlers, drivers, gardeners, and pool cleaners quit because we couldn't pay them. Dad soon started investigating the matter, which was going to take some time, so we all had to adapt to some changes in our overly expensive lifestyle. We managed to keep the house, and since Dad paid our school fees for the entire year, Lucy and I didn't have to change schools, which was a relief.
Okay, so at school nobody knows we're poor, so let's just try and keep it that way.
Of course. Why would I want anyone to know that we're poor? Maybe because it's
all your fault.
I am sick and tired of everyone in this family blaming me for everything. That's just so much pressure. I started crying and Lucy felt bad and apologized.
Okay, I'm sorry, but our life just sucks so much right now.
While we sat sulking about our poverty-stricken life, we heard Mom scream from the kitchen.
Somebody help.
Lucy and I ran down to the kitchen and found the stove on fire, and Mom trying to put it out with a tablecloth, and it was reaching for the ceiling.
Ah, it won't stop quickly. Get some water.
While Lucy thought a glass of water would help, I brought the fire extinguisher and thank God was able to put out the fire. But now our entire kitchen was ruined, and there was smoke all over the place. We gotta sit outside until the smoke is gone. Come on. We all sat outside on the stairs, And Mom was in tears telling me how she was trying to cook, but ended up ruining the kitchen.
I guess we'll have to order food. I hope they give us some discount.
Right then, Dad came in, all smiles.
Hello? Everybody?
Oh, did you get our money back?
Nope. I found a job. I'm going back to selling insurance, and once I make some good commission, I'll start trading again and get all the money that we lost.
Well, Daddy's plan didn't follow through the way he saw it. 3 months went by and we were still struggling, and the only thing Dad could afford was food. So I decided it was time to get a part-time job as a waitress.
But Rose, if you work as a waitress, everyone in school will know.
Yes, I know, but maybe if I work I can help Dad pay for the Wi-Fi. Lucy immediately smiled, but she wouldn't dare try to get a job since she cared so much about what people would think. The restaurant I worked at was a classy place where all the rich and mighty dine. And one day, while I served a bunch of top-class businessmen, I overheard their discussion about new digital devices. I got excited and couldn't contain myself. I have plenty of ideas for new devices. Imagine having a portable hard drive is something almost like an iPod, but with more space. That way, users will be able to carry all of their important information on one small iPod. We could even make it have a video presentation for business meetings. After I was done babbling, they looked at me, stunned. Then the tall man with a big forehead was so rude.
You can just get our order, please.
I walked away, feeling embarrassed, and then the next worst thing happened when I waited at my next table. They were girls from my school who envied my sister and me all the time, and the worst of them all was Charlotte.
Wow, you work as a waiter? Ha 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 ha. This must be my lucky day. Wait, I have to take a picture of this.
Oh, Charlotte, get over yourself. I work here and earn my own money, unlike you, a spoiled brat forever.
Ugh, that's no way to talk to your customers. Where's the manager? I want to file a complaint.
He's out to lunch, so can I take your order? It was the most dreadful day of my life. But the next day when I went to school, everyone called me Waiter Girl. Since Charlotte posted my picture on Instagram, and during recess, while Lucy and I were minding our own business, Charlotte started being so annoying with her stupid minions.
We've noticed that you two bring lunches to school these days. Should we open up a charity fund dedicated to the richest in the school? Oh, let me rephrase. The poor, smelly girls of the school.
Shut up, Chatroulette. Lucy got up, angrily clenching her fist, and I calmed her down. Don't worry about her, Lucy. She's just a jealous girl who has no goals.
At least my goal is not to be a waiter. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, your goal is probably to be a brainless peanut all your life since you get big fat zeros on all of your tests. Charlotte eventually left us alone, but then after school, Dad picked us up in a rundown car, and Charlotte got the entire school to come and watch us get in it.
Oh my gosh, where did your dad buy this junk from?
At that point, I had had enough of Charlotte's farty face. Just leave me and my family alone. Our financial life is none of your business. Dad was shocked when we got home, and he told us that his contract at work was about to end. So he sold his Land Rover and got us a scrappy car. Life was getting even worse for us. I put on my waiter clothes and got out of the house to work an extra shift. While I was at the restaurant, I found my manager watching Natalya Avata. Wow, you like Natalya Avata?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No problem. I was just surprised.
There was a guy who came looking for you. He left his number.
When I called the number, a part of me was hoping it was Greg calling to say he was sorry and he wanted to give us all our money back. But it wasn't. Hello, you were looking for me at the restaurant.
Yes, our investors liked your pitch that you suddenly decided to blurt out while you were serving our table. We have an offer for you if you could put all those ideas on paper.
Yes, I can. I left my extra shift. I went home and started putting ideas together for new devices. I didn't want to say anything to my family yet. I just wanted to get the offer first. The next day, I met with those business people again, and I was blown out of my mind when they told me I was going to get $100,000. I was on cloud 9. I immediately signed the contract, and they even asked me to stay in contact if I had any other ideas. I couldn't believe this was actually happening, and when I showed my family the check, we celebrated all night.
Rose, you just saved our lives.
Does this mean we can get our chef back? Because I'm getting really tired of eating baked beans every day.
Not just yet. Dad needs to first work his magic on the trading platform. And then maybe. I was so happy to see my family relaxed again. Lucy wanted us to go shopping the next day since all of our heels were starting to lose their texture. 2 pairs, and that's it, right? We need to use all this money wisely.
Yes, I know. But what if I see a third pair that I like?
Lucy! Just before we could head off to the mall, Dad screamed from the living room.
Rose, you have to see this.
When I went to check what he was talking about, the news was on, and Gregory was handcuffed and sentenced to prison for the next 20 years for being one of the biggest fraudsters in the city. And the parents that he said were his parents were just actors. I felt so relieved. And Dad eventually got a call from the credit card company. With good news, all his money would be returned. Soon after that, I completed school, got my degree in computer science, and became the next richest person in our city. And then, one day I even had my own business meeting at that classy restaurant.
Can I take your order?
Charlotte, you work here now?
Yes. So can I take your order?
I didn't laugh or insult her because there's really nothing wrong with being a waitress. We all have to start somewhere if we want to make it.